So Mark Norman's comedy special From Soup to Nuts has gotten removed off of Netflix. It is still available until around July 24th, it says, but it is getting removed from Netflix. So there's a really big question here that needs to be answered. Is he removing himself from Netflix, or is Netflix removing themselves from him? It is very common for Netflix to keep its originals. So if you didn't already know, Mark Norman's comedy special is a Netflix original. It has the big red N at the top left corner of the screen. So you know that it's something that Netflix has either produced or it is something that they licensed. It's not very common for Netflix to remove their own original content off of the platform. So there's something significant going on here. One great example that people might remember or know is whenever Netflix removed Daredevil. Daredevil was a Netflix original series that Marvel had Netflix produce for them. Netflix ended up selling it back to Disney Plus for them to produce and keep the series going. Same thing with Luke Cage. So again, something that's not very common. It happens every once in a while and it's usually very notable. It's usually whenever they have license concerns or whenever they're trying to distance themselves from somebody. So if you remember all of the Chris D'Elia stuff or the Louis C.K. stuff, Netflix removed those comedy specials off of the platform in order for them to distance themselves from those comics because of what they had done or whatever allegations were going on at the time. So it's not a very common thing that happens in the comedy sphere. A lot of comics over the last couple of years have been trying to have their specials on Netflix. It's a very common thing and it's almost like a notch in your belt as a stand-up comic. So of course, Shane Gillis has his first special on Netflix in 2023. So does Mark Norman. So does Stavi. A lot of people have their comedy specials on Netflix. Joe Rogan most recently came out with one as well. It's a very normal thing to get on Netflix. But what is not normal is getting removed. So there's a huge question here that most people may not be able to answer right now, except for Mark Norman himself. Is Netflix removing themselves from Mark Norman? Is there a reason for it? Or is Mark removing it from them? Is he buying the special back? We've seen this happen in the past where people have decided that they want to keep their art and not license it out anymore. So they will buy their special back. They'll spend almost all of their money to buy that special back from the streaming platform. I'm going to give you my take here. I think that it most likely would be Netflix distancing themselves from Mark. I think that the special that Mark had was really good. I thought it was really funny. I laughed more at his special than I did at Joe Rogan's special, but his special hit on a lot more pain points and political and race issues than most specials do. That's just Mark's type of comedy. If you didn't already know, Mark Norman is a shock comic. He's not a shock jock, but he's a shock comic. He's an actual solid comedian that can say anything and make it funny any time of the day. And while he's great at it, it's very shocking a lot of times. And he'll say things that you just wonder how that came through his brain or came out of his mouth. And the fact that Netflix could be distancing themselves from him is most likely to me because he is just so shocking. And the special wasn't heavily promoted whenever it first came out because it was just very shocking. It wasn't something that they necessarily wanted to promote very heavy. And now I hope that that's not the case, but I could see that being the case more often than not. Netflix has been known to uh, lean more towards the left side of things, which that's neither here nor there. But I could see them being the ones that actually fired Mark Norman themselves, which would be really unfortunate. But we will see what happens in the days to come. I'm sure Mark Norman will address the fact that his special is leaving Netflix when it's not a very common thing. It usually happens when you get fired. We will see what happens. Please let me know in the comments down below what you see, what you think. Was it Mark Norman or was it Netflix? We know that there's a breakup happening and we're going to have to get to the bottom of it. All things mentioned in this video are all complete speculation None of these things have actually happened. We don't know exactly what has happened yet. But if you have an idea or you have an opinion or you have a thought, drop it down in the comments. I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Let's get to the bottom of this and figure out what's going on. Hoping the best for Mark and his team, and hoping that everything is all good and he's just getting his art back because that's what he actually wants to do.